Hello, Vanessa. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. It's we're recording this on the rainy day in May. I think it's only going to rain today, and then it's supposed to be nice again.
Oh, good, good. Because I've got wet through today, so yeah.
So today we was going to have a bit of a chat because it's Mental Health Awareness Week. Is it week, Vanessa? It's week, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's from the 9th to the 15th, yes.
Yeah. So it's Mental Health Awareness Week, and this year's sort of subject is around loneliness. So we're going to
Mhm.
touch on loneliness for a bit. But firstly, we just wanted to have a bit of a chat about the big sleep out that Vanessa and the Community Mind Matters sort of volunteers and team went out and did just this last Friday night.
Yeah, Friday the 6th of May.
Yeah. So what was that all about then, Vanessa? Well, how did that
Well,
come about?
well, usually it's a national thing, I think. Yeah, it is. I heard about it just online. There was other places doing it. And the idea is to sleep out on the streets for the night and actually feel what homeless people feel. But I felt I wanted to actually go and find some homeless people because I think, that'd be nice to speak to them and talk to them, see if they needed anything. And
Yeah.
we had sleeping bags and a quilt, and we had some water and some chocolate and some bits and pieces to give to them if we found anybody.
So it's really about raising awareness around
Absolutely. Yeah,
that,
absolutely.
because it's like I think we talked about before. We all go home at night, don't we? We're in the comfort
Yeah,
of our own home, but
yeah,
then there are people out there on the streets that
yeah.
they don't have that comfort, and we don't see it almost, do we? Because we're not
Oh,
there.
I think we're not aware sometimes, and when you're sort of like, all got busy lives, I mean, we just don't see it. We hear about it, but we don't always see it.
Yeah. So
Especially
you,
in Spalding, we don't, in major cities, you'd see a lot more, you'd see a lot more of homeless people and probably more areas. But Spalding, there is areas in Spalding that people do, so it was just really finding somebody to help really and just giving them a bit of see if they're okay and just talking to people really, just giving that kindness to people.
so before we get into what happened on the night,
Yep.
well, in detail, or who you might have met, what was it like to be out on the streets in the dark?
It was a lot different because, I mean, it's dark and we went to some areas that were pretty dark. We did have a torch, and we all had high vis on, and we were very aware of, we had to be careful because you just don't know. Nightime is completely different to daytime. I had spoken to the police and told them that we were doing this and made sure, so they were making sure that, we were safe as well.
Yeah, brilliant.
Because I just didn't want us to just go out on the street, that would have been silly. We had to have some sort of plan, and we did have some sort of plan of what we were doing.
Yeah.
And we just walked around some certain areas, and we spoke to people as well, to people in general, just people, and then we did come across some people, and it was just really just seeing how they were.
Yeah.
We didn't ask too many questions because they didn't, it they're very scared on the streets because they don't want to be sometimes pushed on from where they're living if they have found a safe place to be. So we weren't there to do that, but just, to make sure they were okay. And that's all we basically did.
Was you shocked to find people, or did you
No.
expect to?
Yes, I did expect. We didn't know if we would. We didn't know. We just didn't know. I wasn't shocked at all because I think there's a lot more that we don't know.
Yeah.
Because how many people, I mean, the police do patrols and everything like that, but and the police know where people are, but then they might miss something. It's always those, new people coming onto the street. You just don't know, and I've dealt with homeless people before, and it can happen overnight. Somebody can lose their home, or something happens, or they've had, anything could happen, and they end up on the streets.
Yeah, and I guess that, you know, nobody's accountable for them either, are they? You know.
No, I mean, there is help out there, but I find sometimes it can be difficult for them to get the help. Not because there isn't help, because there is help. It's down to their circumstances and when their support is and where anybody can put them. You know, it's just, it's a mixture of things. It's not just, you know, it's a problem. More help needs to be, but there is things out there in place for people. You know, nobody would want to see anybody on the street, and nobody will allow that, but it's down to that individual person if they want to take that help and go into wherever they're put.
Yeah, yeah. There's a radio advert, and I think it's on the TV as well, demonstrating that if you're homeless, then you can't get a bank account because you don't have an address, and then if you can't have a bank account, then you can't find a job.
Yeah.
You can't get a job, so you're homeless, and and it's just a vicious cycle, isn't it? But there
are now. I think they're trying. They are. Yeah, I think there's been a lot more support for people on the streets now. I think it's getting a lot better. It's getting a lot better for people. But you know, there's some people that I think, again, it's where they want to be, if they've got friends or anything like that. I think it's really difficult for people, because some people do get put in places that probably are away from their support network, and that support network is very important for them.
Yeah,
very important for them. And it's just, as I say, it's just down to the individual person.
Yeah, and just interestingly, obviously you spoke to the police from a safety point of view. Do you know how the police how they interact with the homeless? Is there a certain procedure they need to follow?
I think they do. I think they do. I don't really know too much about what the police do, but I do know, yeah. I mean, the police are, you know, very aware of where places are, and I think they do checks on people. You know, they do checks on people. They're very good at what they do, but again, it's limited as well. Everything's limited of what, you know. And I just thought, us as a volunteer group, we didn't. I think, you know, they might be, it's the police. They might be a bit more frightened of the police, where we weren't anything. We were just showing kindness and just making sure that they were okay, you know, and basically just, you know, giving them a little bit of a talk, you know, and just making sure that there was help out there if they wanted it, you know. And that's all really that we wanted to do, just make sure people are getting the right support they need.
Right. And so what happened on the night then? Who, you know, you mentioned...
Well, we met a few people, and we had a chat with them, and we gave them some bedding, you know, and some food and some water, and just basically had a chat with them just to see if they're okay, see what, you know, a little bit about them. Because we all see people as homeless, and sometimes I don't judge, but you could if you wanted to go, oh look, you know. And I wouldn't ever do that, because I want to know their story. I want to know why it's come to this, why they feel that, you know, this is the only place they can be.
Did you find that you got any sort of any openness about how these people...
No, not too much. No, not too much. You know, we did what we could. I think it was just giving them, making sure that they had a warm blanket or something like that. Not really. I
guess they might have been a bit taken aback by the kindness and didn't really know how to...
They were. They were.
Not the usual night on the street, is it?
A Friday night, you know, somebody goes, do you want food?
Yeah.
You know, no. I think for us, it was, we felt, I mean, I went home after, and I was just so, I've still got that feeling now. I felt I'd helped somebody. And this is what it's about. It's about helping somebody, you know, and I hope it's that okay with them as well, that, you know, they felt that you know, there's a bit of kindness out there, because it must be very lonely. It must be very frustrating at times, you know. very
Yeah.
frustrating at times.
And actually, that loneliness is the subject for Mental Health
Yeah, yeah,
Awareness Week, isn't it? Which the Big Sleep Out was a great way of raising that awareness for
absolutely,
both, living
absolutely.
on the street and that feeling of loneliness. It must be very isolating to be.
And it was just such a lovely experience for me and everybody else. We all had a good experience, of, because we don't know, but it was just nice. We walked miles. I mean, my feet were killing me by the end of the night, and it was raining as well, and that makes it hard as well, because we had hoods up and stepping in puddles, but that didn't matter, to be honest with you, because at the end of the day, and the way I look at it, I still went home,
Yeah,
to a dry house, to a roof over my head. And I think sometimes, until you experience it, you just don't know how grateful you should be for what we've got.
exactly. And I guess it just really demonstrates. Oh, someone's just come home and the dogs are barking. I guess it really demonstrates how actually difficult it can be on the streets with different weather changes, whether it's
Yeah.
really hot or really cold, damp. It's all of those
And
things.
it was, I think, it was nice for us all to do it. I think we all got something out of it. I'm not speaking for everybody else, but I think we all did. I think we all got something out of that, and it's given us more ideas of helping people. I mean, it was just a pilot. It was just a tester. It was just like, let's just try. We didn't know ourselves. We didn't know how it was going to go. We didn't even know if we were going to find somebody. It was just, just one of those things that we just wanted to try.
Yeah, yeah. And obviously there was a great response from both situations. Is that something that maybe you'd like to do in the future?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think, but this time we'll, I mean, that was just, we did have a plan, but I think next time we'll probably, really get into, where we can help, and you'll probably, work a bit more with the police if we can, and just, but the police were so supportive. They really were supportive of what we were doing, and didn't feel that we shouldn't be doing it, and that's the thing. I get an idea in my head and I want to do it. I just want to,
I guess it can be quite frustrating for the police where, like you said, they're limited to how they can
They
help.
are.
And as the human being side of a police officer would probably want to do more, but are then restricted by policies, procedures.
Absolutely. Where we're, as a volunteer group, are not so much. All right, we do have to be careful with the certain things, safeguarding ourselves as well. We can't put ourselves in danger, and we didn't. It was very, I think you just knew to be on your guard. You knew, because nighttime in town is completely different to a daytime.
Yeah,
completely different.
And I guess it was great that you were in a fairly large group.
We were. Yeah.
Two of you or three of you. There was
I wouldn't have done it. No way would I go out at night time and do it on my own, but it was good to have the team together. It was a nice experience for us all. It was a really nice experience, but not just that, we actually did do some good. And I think that was the main thing that I wanted to see. I wanted to see if there was a need for what we were doing.
Yeah.
And there is.
It sounds like
there is.
Yeah. And it's great that Community Mind Matters have the ability and the people around us to support it.
Absolutely.
And have that almost that flexibility to be able to do it as well.
Yeah, and I think that's what it's, that's for us, that's what it was about. I mean, we've all probably got different things to say, different things, the way we look at it, but I think we're all sort of like, we were happy that we actually helped somebody that night. And I think, I went away from that when I left and got home. It was a lovely feeling. It was a lovely feeling to know that we'd helped somebody. And I think that's all it's about. It's just helping people.
Yeah.
To know that there is, kind people out there, that it's just not for them. I think more than anything, people probably don't speak to them.
Mm. Which brings us on to that topic of loneliness, really, because loneliness, from all the data, is not having those quality interactions with people, or
Yeah,
even with animals. It's having that quality social interaction, and it doesn't even matter how many times you speak to somebody, but it's just that that real connection with somebody. And I guess where and I'm guilty of doing this. I mean, I try not to do it now, but I'm definitely guilty in the past of even ignoring a homeless person and just walking past them.
yeah,
I feel awful saying that, but I've got to be honest and say I've done that before,
yeah, yeah,
especially before sort of my mental health problems.
yeah,
And I think, if we're all honest with ourselves, a lot of people do that, and
yeah.
we don't even give them eye contact.
No,
Not because we don't want to help them, but probably because we're scared or we're
absolutely.
unsure, don't
Yeah,
know what to do, don't know how to react, don't know how to respond. And that, even that lack of eye contact, not having somebody to chat with throughout the day, must be such a lonely place to
yeah.
be.
I mean, over the years, I have done a lot with homelessness. So, and if I've ever seen anybody on the street or anything like that, I've always stopped. I've always spoken to them. I mean, years and years ago, probably about 5 years ago, when I first started the running group, I used to do a run round the castle. And I saw one day this homeless person. They were asleep in their sleeping bags. And when we finished the group, I thought, I'm going to go and get them a sandwich and a drink. I'm going to put near them, because they were fast asleep. I didn't wake them up. I thought, I'm not going to disturb them. And I left it there. So they had a drink and they had a sandwich when they woke up. Something for them, and I've always done that. I always give them, I never give them money. I think it's just, I give them my time. I'll have a conversation. I've sat on the floor with them, and sat next to them and spoken. And do you know what? I've met some amazing people, and their stories, some people, you listen to their stories and you think, you're no different to me. They are no different. It's just that their way of coping is different. Some of them, being on the street is easier than actually being in a house. Over the years, I've met people that won't even live in a house because of all the stress, the bills, anything like that. When you've got mental health, it's all overwhelming. So if they've got a nice warm place and they can handle that, that's where they want to be. And I think more understanding, I think, is needed for these people. More understanding.
Exactly. I think that's a really, really valid point, that actually they're just the same as me.
They are, absolutely.
Yeah, and that, like you said, that stress of just, when we have mental health issues, sometimes even the simplest thing like getting dressed in the morning is a task. Choosing what to wear, choosing what to eat, to the point where you don't get dressed and you don't eat because it's just too overwhelming.
Yeah.
And things like bills and running a household, if that's going to be a big problem.
Absolutely, for them it is, and as I say, over the years, and in different areas, when I've lived in different, when I lived in Norwich, I met a lot of homeless people then, and all different stories again, all different stories of the reason why they're there and the reason, and some of these people are amazing people, but they've just had difficulties in life, like we all have difficulties, and we all handle mental health completely different. I
know there's no I know we'll never solve this in a podcast.
No.
What do you think? What can we do kind of individually, do you think, going forward? If someone was to listen to this podcast and go, well, how can I help someone? What can I do? What would you suggest to say,
Me personally, I would stop and talk to them.
Okay.
And say, hi, how are you? Just, or good morning or good afternoon or anything. Just make them aware that you've acknowledged them. Because they're sat there probably on a cold pavement, just depending what time of year it is, or what, just say, hi, how are you? and just have a conversation if you've got time. I think life's so busy and we haven't always got that time, but just hello's enough. Just a smile,
Smile, yeah.
just a smile, it just shows, because we smile at everybody, don't we? Why can't we smile at that person just sat there? Even if you don't do anything, you've shown a bit of kindness.
It's that acknowledgement as well, isn't it? Like you
Absolutely.
said, that person's probably not spoken to somebody for days or even weeks sometimes. And it's that acknowledgement of, yeah, I can see you, you're here,
And it's not judging them. It's not judging them. At the end of the day, we're all human beings. We're all, and it's just about, being kind. It's just about being kind to people, isn't it? And I don't see that homeless person. I see a person, as simple as I see a person first. I see that person, that we don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. And it's just about just smiling. And anything for me, if I get a smile back or I feel I can approach them, then I'll stop and have a conversation with them, and just talk to them. And as I say, I've met some amazing people over my time, and some amazing stories, but I've given them time to tell me that story.
Yeah.
Because I like to know the history, they're not that I'm being nosy, I don't want to feel, but I have, for some reason, I can sit next to somebody and then I do get their life story. And it's lovely because I love to hear things like that. I love to hear, because I think it's amazing. People are amazing, it's just that we're all different. It's just about giving them time. And I think we can all give time.
Yeah, whether we think we've got time or not, we
have
time.
Some days we haven't.
We've all got a smile, we can all make that connection on whatever level. So whether it is, like you said, just eye contact, a smile, a chat, a sandwich and a drink,
And I mean, it's like years ago. I mean, I haven't seen this so much now, but there used to be a magazine. I can't remember the name now, but it's sort of like a magazine for homeless people. I can't.
Oh, The Big Issue.
The Big Issue. Now, I always used to speak to those guys. I used to always stand or sit with them and talk to them, and and they were people that were trying to spread the word, trying to get the word across about homelessness and everything like that. And they're amazing people as well. But most people that are doing those are back on their feet again. They're trying to help other people and everything. It's a brilliant organisation. And when I was living in Norwich, it was quite big there. It was that's where I first heard about it. And I think we did used to have one in Spalding. I've seen it for a long while, probably with COVID and everything. They've probably not gone back out. But I mean, and they have stories to tell. And then I think with that, then you find their journey, getting back on their feet.
Yeah, what an inspiration.
Absolutely, aren't they? Because it is tough. It's really tough.
Yeah, to go from, living on the streets to then being in a position where you can help others. That's a massive transformation, like you said.
And if you can just, for me, it's just about giving them acknowledgement. I mean, for me, I always say don't give people money, because if they have got any, you want them to be fed, and have a drink. I think that's the most important thing. Mm-hmm. Because if they have got any problems and everything, you would want them to look after themselves. I think that's about, for me, it's about, I know he's had a sandwich, or whoever it is, they've had a sandwich, they've had a drink.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I have seen people on the streets before, and people have been kind, so there is people out there, not just what we were doing. There is people out there that do that, that give people that time they need.
Yeah, fab. And then I guess not that, there's so many other issues, so many other people out there who are struggling with loneliness, even people who have, mansions and amazing material things can still be lonely. And, it can be anywhere, and you don't have to be isolated and alone to feel, that lack of connection with others. And you, I mean, I come across it in my line of work.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you do as well, Vanessa. And
yeah, majority of my group members they live on their own, so my groups are so important to them because it's like a routine. It's like, you know, it's somewhere they can mix with other people, it's somewhere they can feel safe. You know, and if they have got a problem, it's somewhere they can express if they want to. They don't have to. My groups are very much, you don't have to talk about something, they can have a quiet chat with me, but it's just a safe place for people to be. And I think when people are lonely, they do keep a lot of stuff for themselves because they just go, well, nobody will want to know. And that's the sad thing of it, you know, that they don't think that people want to know their problems, but we do want to know how you're feeling. Because I think with loneliness, as you just said, anybody can be lonely. You can be married, you can be, you know, you can have everything and still feel very, very lonely. And I think mental health makes you feel lonely. I know with my mental health, when I was at my worst, it was the most loneliest place because nobody understood.
Exactly.
And how could anybody understand? It's my mental health, you know, it's not theirs. They could probably be kind and say, you know, I think I understand, but we don't truly understand what that person's really going through. And it's just making them feel that they've got somebody that cares about them, that is willing to listen. I think it's about the same. We've got ears. We can listen, you know, we can't always solve everything, but we can listen.
Yeah. And it's really great to know that there are, I mean, I say this every podcast, but it's really great to know that there is a service like Community Mind Matters where that can happen.
Yeah.
And it'd be great if people could talk about it more to help more people, because the more people that know about it, the better, really.
I think you're right. I think with mental health and being a mental health awareness week, I think we must talk about mental health. We must talk about it. We must really, really have more people understanding it as well. You know, I'm probably too open, but that's me, you know, but I'm not, you know, I think a lot of people, and they're ashamed of feeling the way they feel. I'm not ashamed.
I mean, that's the problem, really. Loneliness is, you know, it's just a symptom of not connecting with people,
Yeah.
which can happen for millions of reasons, whether you've lost someone, whether, you know, you're just, you know, through the global pandemic we felt lonely, didn't we, because we weren't actually allowed to go out and connect with people. And it's just a signal, really, to say, look, I need to go out and do something. I need to chat with someone. I need to pick up the phone. I need to, you know, I can take action, and then that will make me feel better. But sometimes when we feel lonely, we don't go, right, what can I do differently? We go, I shouldn't feel like this. I feel ashamed of feeling like this, or I feel this guilt about feeling like this. And that's where the problem is. It's that shame and guilt that we put on ourselves.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, it's not always the loneliness. Loneliness is there for a reason, to tell us to go out and connect. But sometimes we go, no, I shouldn't be feeling like this.
Yes.
Or nobody's going to listen to me. You know, it's all of those thoughts, isn't it, around it?
And it is, and then it's just so hard for them to move forward because of the way they feel until they find. And I think, as we both know, it is finding your own way. It is finding your way of coping with everything. And some people, it takes a little while, you know, with whatever they're going through in life. You know, it's, you know, every person is different. Every mental health is different. And that's why I say your feelings are your feelings. I can't say don't feel like that, because that's not my place to. My place is to help you understand and move forward. I like to move people forward, and majority of people, and you do the same, we do move them forward. You know, if I look at some of my members that I've helped, my goodness, I'm so proud of these people, because when I first met them, they didn't feel that way, and now they feel completely different. They've got more, they feel more supported, and plus they feel a bit more in control, so they can try different things. And that's what it is. It's about taking control, but in a nice, healthy way. in a healthy, controlled way, you know, so they can move forward and go. And it's boundaries. I'm a big boundary person, and it's saying no. We don't say no enough, you know, as far as I'm concerned, because we say that word, I really want to say no, but I'm going to hurt their feelings.
Exactly.
And we all do it. I'm, you know, you sort of like, oh, I've got to do that because I don't want to hurt that person's feelings. But sometimes you're not hurting that person's feelings, really. We put the pressure on ourselves then to always say yes.
Yeah.
And then,
that a lot, don't we?
And then we feel bad afterwards. We feel bad afterwards saying, and it's about doing that healthy boundary thing by saying, you know, and explaining why you don't want to, or, you know, but that takes a lot. This took me a long time to get to that point. Where for somebody that's just coming into sort of like their recovery, it's still very, very hard for them.
Yeah, it is. I always find with things like that, it just takes time. It takes little practices, little trial runs, finding how you feel about it, having the confidence to do it.
Absolutely, that's the biggest thing. Confidence. People, you can hear people going, "Oh, I can't do that because I haven't got the confidence." And it's just building somebody's confidence back up again, you know, and just making them feel. I mean, years ago I helped somebody that had absolutely no confidence, and we worked on confidence for, you know, a good year. But when we had finished, oh my goodness, I didn't recognize the person. I was like, oh, the same person, you know. It was just like, wow. But they had to do it slowly, because if you do it a bit slower, you're gonna connect more with it. You're gonna keep hold of it. If you rush something, I know with myself, if I rush something, you're not going to get the same result.
Yeah, exactly.
It's about standing back and going, right, I'm taking a deep breath and I'm going to, you know, and do it at my own pace.
And I guess thinking about loneliness as well, because quite often we probably can feel lonely, but we've got people around us who we can talk to, probably, you know, someone close like a friend or a family member. But when it's not helping us, and that's where therapy can help, because I often have clients who come to me sort of once a month or once every couple of months because they just like to just have a chat, because I get them. Oh, you get me. You understand how I'm feeling. I can work through that problem with you, with no judgment, no, oh, you should do it like this. But you know, it's really nice to have that outlet. If you know, if that's something that you have the opportunity to do, therapy is a great way of working through things with somebody who understands how you feel as well. Because you know, like you said, unless you've been there, you know, your family, your friends can do as much as they possibly can, but sometimes they don't have the, you know,
I think it's harder. It's harder. I think for families and for family and friends, they just want us to be well. They just want us to feel, because they love us, you know, they want us to feel, they want to fix everything. But sometimes we need to fix us. Nobody can fix us. We need to fix ourselves, you know. And it sounds quite hard, but it's true. It's true. It has to start with us in the end.
Exactly.
We have to put the work in to get where we want to be, you know. And I mean, I went through years of therapy and it didn't work. It absolutely didn't work. But then my last therapist, oh my goodness, it worked. And I've been waiting years for this person, and I got her. And she was amazing. And I had 6 sessions, and I was on the road to where I knew I had to be. And she said at the end of it, you need to go and help people. She actually told me that's where my strengths were, because you understand people, you've got that empathy. And you know,
it probably was that 6 weeks of everything slotting in and making sense, but all the work you'd done before must have had an effect on.
Of course,
don't do away with all that hard work that you've done before, because it must have led up to that. And then she gave you the ability then to make sense of it all.
And I was her last client as well, because she was retiring, so that was really even more, you know. And I wished I can't even remember the lady's name. That's so bad. I've got it written down somewhere. But I would, you know, it's, you know, I thank her, because she listened to me. I felt I was listened to, and I think that's very important. You've got to listen to the people that you're with.
Exactly.
And not, you know, and it's not about saying, oh, come on, let's try this, because sometimes people are not ready to try certain things. It's about, it's taking time, and it's scary for people. You know, there was things I'm doing now that if you said to me a few years ago, you'll be doing that, I'd be going, oh, rubbish, I can't do that. But I can. But I just needed that time to get my confidence. Now there's no stopping me. You know, I feel that confident that, you know, that I can, especially with mental health, because that's where I feel to belong. I feel I belong somewhere. It's about belonging as well, I think, for people.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Because people, you know, it's belonging, and it's finding that thing, that passion, that drive. And this is definitely my drive. This is, you know.
We can all see that, Vanessa.
Yeah, I know I get told off sometimes, because what, I can't remember my daughter yesterday. I said, I'm sat down. She says, and what's wrong with that? You know, it's like, I'm sat down, I'm not doing anything today. You know, it's like,
you were doing the raffle.
Yeah, but you know, it was, you know, I'm usually rushing about. I'm usually loads and loads of different places. You know, and my office is when I'm walking along the street. Yeah, I can speak to you. Yeah, sorry about the cars. Sorry about that. It was because I'm always on the go. And it's not that that's a good on the go. It's not a bad on the go. But sometimes you do need to take that, sit down, chill out.
Yeah. Fab. So we'll wrap it up there then for this week, this month. And I hope that's really helped people to, you know, understand a bit more about the big sleep. And yeah, big thank you, Vanessa, and all of the team that went out the other night to help the homeless. That was
I thank them as well. Without them, I couldn't have done it, you know. So it was a team thing. It's, you know, we were all in it together, and this is the beauty of it. It's not just, you know, one person. It was a whole team of us. We all did a good thing that night.
Brilliant. Fab. So thank you very much, and we'll catch up next time.
Okay, thank you. Bye.